If you choose the Bolivar, you're losing 95% of it a year. You have that choice. And third, you have a choice as to where you put your livelihood. You can choose to work as a YouTube streamer. You know what? You depend upon YouTube. If you say something that causes YouTube to rip your channel off, your livelihood goes to zero. So if you choose to make your livelihood on YouTube, you should pay attention to their policies and act accordingly. If your livelihood is a hot dog stand in Beijing, if your livelihood is in Moscow, downtown, think about the Russian policy, you act accordingly. Everybody has a choice as to where they will place their livelihood, what corporation they'll be dependent upon, what regulator they will be dependent upon, what government they will be dependent upon, right? You have a lot of choices today. Just be rational. I can't fix, all of these problems in the world. All I can do is say some places are more permissive than others. On the margin, I would guess that your odds of being able to operate your business in the face of a potential pandemic are higher in Texas than they are in certain left-leaning states. On the margin, Florida, probably higher. If the governor says, I'm never going to shut down a business, you have a right to work, probably you have a higher right there. So you get to choose, but that changes every month and every year, right? So public policy is changing, economic policy is changing. One thing is clear, though. If you put your money in gold, it'll probably be seized by the counterparty. And if it isn't seized, you're going to lose half of it every 30 years. If you put your money in a currency, you're going to lose half of it every 5 to 10 years. If you put your money into a weak currency, you lose half of it every 5 to 10 months. If you put your money into an equity, you're going to have to trust the management team, but the management team is going to dilute you in their pursuit of their plans and strategies. And if the equity is valued on cash flows, what if I gave you the most profitable company in Zimbabwe right now? Like, how much is the equity worth over the next decade? What are the cash flows worth for a company that generates Zimbabwe dollars for the next decade if the dollar crashes in Zimbabwe? So you have to be aware that you are trusting your balance sheet to some macroeconomic force, and you're putting yourself in that frame of reference. You're trusting your P&L to a different set of macroeconomic forces, right? You're a Chinese company and you do work in China and you sell food in China, but you save in the US dollar. You see, you have dollar exposure and then you have Chinese commercial exposure.